Okay, now we're going to talk about statistical process control. Included in the standard Fusion software package, we have some SPC capability. Now, some of you may be using SPC extensively. Some customers may be just getting into SPC and for the first time, and that's been driven by your customers. So we've included, we believe, enough SPC functionality to be of use to those customers that are considering using SPC for the first time. If you're an extensive SPC user, the chances are you will have your own proprietary SPC software package already in place, in which case we can present the data to you in a text format, in a CSV file that you can then import into your own package and do your own analysis on. But let me show you a couple of examples of how SPC works. What I'm going to do is measure this circle, and we're going to move across and measure another circle, just as an example. And then if I look in my left-hand monitor, I can dimension this feature, I can dimension this feature, and let's call the straight line dimension between the two of them. Okay, now I'm going to run the program one more time and make sure my SPC all components box is ticked. If I run that program, when we remeasure the part, now when I open this dimension, you can see that I have, in fact, a list of two results. The first dimension is from the first measurement, and the second, number 2, is from the second time it was measured. So as I build up a series of results from a batch of parts to be measured, I can start to look at the statistical analysis of those results. So what I'm going to do now is use my workpiece coordinates feature and tell the system that I have 5 parts to measure, but in this case I'm just going to tell it it's got an offset of 0. So we start to measure, we'll remeasure the same part in the same position, just to give ourselves some information to work with. So you can see that we're going to cycle between each feature, and we're going to effectively remeasure this part 5 times. Those 5 results will be added to the 2 that were already in the list. So when that's completed, you can see that when I right click on this dimension now, I've got a list of 7 results. So in my list, I've got some basic statistical analysis on this dimension. The maximum, the minimum, the mean and the mean plus or minus 3 sigma. The sigma value that you choose to use as your control limit is definable by the user. We've got a CP and CPK value, and if I look at the charts down below here, maybe switch this to vertical bars, if I enlarge this, we could see that this would normally be our distribution. Well, it is our distribution curve. It's quite a narrow curve at this point because we've got a very tight range of results on that measurement. And this chart here would be our capability, our X bar chart, effectively. And you can see that I have an Excel icon here. If I right-click on any of these dimensions, I can see the information that relates to each of those dimensions. So again, a very repeatable result. We've got in inches measurement, I've got a result on this diameter of 0.7872, 72, 72, 72, 72, 72, 73. So I've got a 10 millionths range there. So if I want to report that information out into Excel, I can simply hit the Excel icon, and you can see here that dimension 1, the currently open dimension, has been added to this report. It's very easy to just simply add all dimensions, and then if I want to show the report, the software opens Excel and populates that spreadsheet with all of the information that relates to the entire inspection. In this case it's only 3 dimensions, but if it was 50 dimensions then that would be an automatic process. So you can see that getting SPC information out of the Fusion software environment and into a standard Windows environment is extremely easy, and comes in a nicely formatted report that you can use straight away, email to customers or suppliers.
First